We might be going to war in Nigeria.
President Trump ordering the Pentagon to prepare for possible fast military action in Nigeria if the country fails to crack down on the mass killing of Christians.
Rebecca Castor joins us live from Washington, D.C. with those details. Rebecca, good morning.
Rachel, good morning. Yeah, President Trump is not mincing words here. This is what he said on
Truth
Social.
Is bad over there? I mean, I'm going to give you my opinion. A lot of people want the Crusades to come back. A lot of people do. But in my opinion, the Crusades were really expensive. If they're cutting each other up over in Nigeria, I don't give a fuck. I don't want it to happen. I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to send them aid. But I don't want to spend my money to go and micromanage Nigerians. Sorry.
Yesterday, if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into the now disgraced country
guns a-blazing. Look at that.
To completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible attack. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth got the message.
He's just bluffing. It's okay. The thing is that Venezuelan president recording and begging Trump in English, sending him private fucking voicemails. Please don't fucking kill me. Please don't fucking blow us up. I'll give you all the oil. I'll give you everything you want. Like, I honestly, I think that thing where he bombed Iran and nobody even knew that shit happened until it was over. And, like, they had these bases, like, you know, like fucking hundreds of feet underground. I really think that was the last time people were like, oh, okay, he's not going to do it.
As the Department of War is preparing for action.
Message received,
The response comes as the persecution of Christians in Nigeria has reached crisis levels. Islamist militants have burned down churches and Christian schools. International civil rights groups estimate more than 50,000 Christians have been murdered in the country since 2009. But the president of Nigeria claims the reports of violence are misleading and says on X the characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality, nor does it take into consideration the consistent and sincere efforts of the government to safeguard freedom of religion and beliefs for all Nigerians. And our administration is committed to working with the United States government and international community to deepen understanding and cooperation of communities of all faiths.
Why they dead?
President Trump also recently redesignated Nigeria as a country of concern after former President Biden removed it from the list in 2021. Rachel, Charlie, and Griff, back to you.
All right, Rebecca, thank you very much.
So it's looking like we might be going over to Nigeria. Like, I didn't even expect this. Like, I never even thought, like, we're going to have a war in Nigeria. What the fuck?
Thank you, Rebecca. Well, it's really hard to tell what's going on.
They're going to start bombing Nigeria.
We understand that they are Muslim rebels of sorts. There's all kinds of unrest in these countries.
I live in Nigeria. Our president's retarded. Probably. I mean, most. It seems like most of the governments are retarded.
And it's not just in Nigeria. It's in Sudan. It's in Chad. It's in the Congo. I mean, it's all over Africa. And, you know, it's out of control. And it is very targeted at Christians. You look at that number in just one country.
Yeah, I mean, they're religious nutballs. I mean, this is what they've been doing forever. Of course.
50,000. And then he says, well, there's no targeted attack. It's kind of crazy. But we've been hearing this from, you know, groups like Boko Haram.
Seems like there's an attack.
Since the Obama days. Remember when they kidnapped those girls and there was this whole campaign to bring back the girls, and many of those girls are still in captivity. This is a gentleman named Paul Adamu. He is Nigerian. He is a Christian, and he was kidnapped by Boko Haram.
Oh, boy.
And this is what he had to say in an op-ed with Fox News recently. He said, these are not random acts of violence. They are systematic, coordinated attempts to erase Christian communities from the region. As someone who has walked through the burned villages and prayed with survivors, I can tell you the reality is even worse than the statistics suggest. The United States and other Western nations cannot look away.
We absolutely can. Your bullshit on the other side of the world is not our problem, period.
have both the moral obligation
Absolutely,
and the diplomatic tools to
do not have a moral obligation. Our moral obligation is that we have to help you. Oh, how convenient for you.
Nigeria towards real accountability.
Yeah.
By the way, he is also going to be on our show later on today, and we'll hear from him directly.
Jesus
and
Christ.
you know, the thing that I love about that, the tweet, the message by President Trump is that, you know, we talked last week about
the world's connected. We do have to help sometimes. For what?
John Roe doctrine, how President Trump is concerned more about his own backyard, which is way smarter than gallivanting all around the world. But the other thing is, you can use that pulpit as a way to put your foot down and scare the living bejesus out of foreign countries where they are doing things like this.
Yes.
And it is.
They're not going to stop doing it because Trump threatened them. Like, if the president of the country is sweeping for them, that means that it's systematic. They're just going to do it more quietly and wait for Trump to leave office and start doing it again. Or do it less frequency. It's pretty obvious.
And it's part of the anything is possible doctrine, or the daddy's home doctrine, where people are actually afraid. They recognize he really will make good on all of his promises. And that tends to sort of
for evangelical
inspire peace,
votes, maybe.
And we've seen it around the world.
I love the way you said earlier when we were talking about this before the show started. I said, well, I think all the actors in there are bad. I mean, these are factions, you know, military factions fighting against each other, and these civilians are sort of caught in it.
Yeah.
And Charlie said, well, it's just that's what President Trump does. He just says, knock it off, or I'm coming up there.
Don't make me come upstairs.
It's a great point, but
don't make me bomb you. Aren't they doing new nuclear testing too?
Yeah,
I think they are.
We are seeing President Trump's peace through strength in action, because there's soft power, the trade that has gotten so much accomplishments, but then there's a hard.
Somebody goes, what's the difference between helping Gaza and helping Nigeria? I mean, like, are you really asking that, or are you just trying to like draw a distinction? Because like a lot of people, you ask the question like that, is very simple, right? The conflict in Gaza is directly correlated to an immediate ally that we have that we're working with. Whereas Nigeria's infighting has nothing to fucking do with us. Like, I think this is probably a dishonest question, but like, I will answer it honestly. That's the difference. Ally? Well, yeah, Israel is America's ally. That's what they say. Now, you can argue that Israel isn't actually our ally, and I would probably agree with you. But like, if you want to know the public position and why it's different, that's the reason why it's different.
Power, and that's the threat of guns a-blazing. And look, if he does go guns a-blazing, it's going to be a limited strike, precision. It's not going to be some starting a war. We've seen this before. He's done that. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, Nigeria is on notice now. And I went this morning to the United Nations Twitter feed. I'm like, I wonder if there's anything about Nigeria, about Christians. Nothing. You can find condemnation.
No, the United Nations is, again, it is a globalist agency that has no interest of any country whatsoever, and it should be viewed as a foreign entity that does not have your best interests in mind. It does not have the best interests of the United States, Russia, China, the UK, any of these other countries, Israel. It doesn't have any of these countries' best interests in mind. It is an international organization that has no obligation to anybody really, other than just spreading out platitudes and wasting the world's money.
Being taken out in the Caribbean by the UN?
There is that too.
But you won't see that. Very interesting
That's
thing.
very fascinating, actually, Greg.
I'll keep watching. I'll bring it to our viewers if we see it.
You might be the only one on the UN, on the UN Twitter handle.
You can follow the UN for the rest of us.
It's because this is what they're supposed to do, and yet they're so absent.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my
That's what I'm saying, right? The test of microprocessing power, Israel would shock you. They're definitely an ally. I mean, I would say that Israel's definitely probably more, like we work with Israel more than we work with Nigeria, as far as I know, right? I mean, I'd say that's definitely true. But yeah, we might be having a war with Nigeria. We might be bombing Nigeria soon. I didn't know that was going to happen. I was quite surprised, but it seems like things are changing. Yeah, wow.